Heish Malawi. Today, the mic was hot, the tension was thicker than ensima left overnight, and the questions spicy like nali. In a televised interview earlier today, our man Brian Banda sat across from MP Suleman, expecting calm answers but getting truth bombs instead. Samir came in confident, the kind of confidence you wear like a designer suit. But as the questions rolled, oh boy, the real story started unfolding, piece by piece, layer by layer. So today, we break down 10 explosive facts from that fiery exchange, each one revealing how one bold interview can shake up politics, pride, and power all at once. Welcome to @Global Pulse News, where we don't just watch the news, we decode it, remix it, and serve it with Malawian flavor and global spice. Let's roll. Before the fireworks, the interview started polite. Brian Banda opening with his usual calm tone, Samir smiling like a man on top of his game. But the moment Brian shifted gears, that calm cracked. Samir admitted he was confident and sure coming into the interview. In his words, he had nothing to hide. Yet when Brian pressed about recent political twists, you could almost feel the studio air get heavier. It's that classic moment. Malawian politician meets fearless journalist, and confidence starts to sweat under the lights. Samir's body language said, "I've been here before." But his answer said, "This is new territory." But if you thought that was bold, wait till you hear how he compared his 6-year roller coaster in Parliament to a full-on amusement park ride. Strap in, fact 2 coming. When asked about his journey as an MP, Samir didn't sugarcoat it. He laughed and said, "It's been a roller coaster, Brian. Interesting, frustrating, but full of lessons. 6 years in politics taught him more than books ever could. From agriculture committees to campaign chaos, he's seen the highs and lows." He described politics like farming. Sometimes you harvest votes, sometimes weeds grow faster than maize. That line alone could headline the next leadership seminar. Samir's reflection carried humility, rare for many MPs, but also that Malawian resilience that says, "I may bend, but I don't break." And just when we thought he'd stop there, Brian poked the next bear. What did all that cost you, Honorable? The answer? A figure that made jaws drop. Fact 3, coming hot. This one hit like a thunderclap. Samir revealed his political and administrative journey came with a heavy price tag. He mentioned, calmly but clearly, that he personally paid around 500 million Kwacha through various responsibilities and contributions. He said it wasn't about bragging, it was proof of commitment. When you lead, sometimes you pay the price literally, he explained. That line sent shockwaves across the audience. In a country where many politicians prefer silence about their spending, hearing an MP openly mention such a figure, that's big. He framed it as sacrifice for progress, not for show, but Brian's expression said it all. That's a lot of sacrifice. And from big numbers to big names, next Samir dropped his entire political CV like a man who's worn every jersey in Malawi's Power League. Let's go to fact 4.
Brian asked him about loyalty and internal party tension. Samir didn't flinch. In politics, he said, you don't always win by shouting loudest, you win by standing firm. He reminded viewers that he's served under pressure, even when some party members were tempted with big money to switch sides. He stood his ground. That firmness earned him both respect and enemies. He explained that leadership isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about facing it without losing focus. Samir's tone softened as he said, "It was never easy, but we learned. Every challenge sharpened us." If that wasn't intense enough, what he said next nearly broke the internet, because it was about one name that still shakes the political stage, APM himself. Let's unpack fact 6. When the topic of former President Arthur Peter Mutharika came up, Samir lit up. He praised APM's development vision and said Malawi, quote, lost momentum after the administration change. He confidently claimed that if APM's government had continued, Malawi would already have a new international airport, completed investment projects in Mela and Mangochi, and several key roads finished. He described these as, quote, footprints of a man who had a plan. To many listeners, that sounded like a nostalgic defense, but also a bold critique of the current leadership. Now, every defense invites a counterpunch, right? Brian, being Brian, asked the killer question. So, were you campaigning for APM personally? The answer, our next fact, was unexpected. Samir insisted his campaign wasn't about any position or party title. He wasn't campaigning for DPP, he was campaigning for progress, he told Brian. He said his loyalty wasn't just to APM, it was to Malawi's future. You don't house a government this way, he said firmly, referring to how regime changes disrupt development. He portrayed himself as a realist, not a rebel, someone who believed continuity mattered more than color. Brian nodded, but the audience could tell. This was heavy political philosophy, dressed in calm delivery. Now, philosophy aside, Brian's next curveball hit right at the heart of party politics, and the Honorable didn't hold back. Fact 8 incoming. When asked what APM told him after the elections, Samir shared a conversation that caught attention. He said APM told him, Malawians have spoken. They love me the same from north to south. I don't want DPP to be labeled a regional party anymore. I want it to be national. Samir admired that statement, calling it a vision worth fighting for. For viewers, this part hit differently. It wasn't just politics. It was about unity. He added, we need to love Malawi beyond our party colors. But hang on, unity sounds nice on camera. The real question is, can he walk the talk? Let's hit fact 9.
When Brian asked what keeps him going, Samir's answer was surprisingly personal. It's not about papers, it's about passion, he said. He emphasized that leadership comes from love for the work, not just qualifications. You can't fix a system you don't feel, he added. That passion line resonated with younger viewers, reminding Malawians that technical degrees can't replace genuine care for people. In a country where citizens crave authentic leaders, Samir's answer hit home. And now for the final one, the closer, the lesson that sums up the entire showdown. Ready for fact 10? Brian closed the interview with a challenge. Are we transparent enough as leaders? Samir paused, his calm cracked for just a second, and then said, we must protect government interests, yes, but we also have to face the people honestly. He admitted that real change starts with tightening laws, closing loopholes, and making transparency part of daily governance. That closing moment was gold. For once, an MP acknowledged accountability not as a slogan, but as a duty. And just like that, the interview ended. But the echoes? Still bouncing across Malawi. And now we arrive at the outro. So what did we learn, Malawi? That one good interview can shake the political table harder than a rainy season thunderstorm. Brian Banda asked the tough questions, and Samir Suleman, to his credit, didn't dodge. He talked confidence, sacrifice, loyalty, unfinished projects, and passion. Whether you agree or not, the man spoke with fire. And that's what we live for here at Global Pulse News. Truth with tempo, headlines with humor, and news that moves you. If you believe Malawi deserves fearless conversations like this, hit that subscribe button, tap like, and drop a comment should more politicians face interviews like this. And hey, don't miss our family of channels at Sparkling Kids and at Rima Fatima, where learning and laughter meet for the next generation. Show love, grow the family, because news is better when it unites us all. Till next time, stay smart, stay woke, and as we say in Malawi, Tikumananso Mawa.